I'm gonna get back to that story, Sonny. Just you listen to Boomer Great One. He's gonna tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, Sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
So I got to apologize to Rushil. Let me tell you about Rushil. Rushil, he's a friend of the show. He's many super chats, many requests, some interesting ones, some originals. And he's thinking he's East India. I think it doesn't matter. He's an agent in the field. The flavor and variety doesn't matter. He's achieved the prestigious honor of being an agent in the field. And he sent me a link to a podcast from The Verge. And it's Hanukkah. The only reason I remember how to pronounce her name because it sounds like the Jewish holiday, Hanukkah something or other. And she's the new president CEO of Logitech. And in the preamble or the description of the podcast, she wants to do whatever. All the buzzwords were there. AI, software updates from mouses and things and stuff. And I won't lie, I was going to listen to it because usually there's a correlation between the title of a podcast or an article and then what's in there. I'm like, okay, I'll listen to this. See if she's really for constant Karen updates on things don't need. So like a lifelong mouse with lifetime software updates. Oh, fucking joy. And then what all the other buzzwords the CEO would have, AI, carbon footprint. And I was going to go, okay, the angle on this will be, if it proves out to be the case, meet Hanukkah, whatever her last name is, the typical CEO from hell. Because she was going to do current thing. So I got it's an hour-long podcast. And the music comes out. You know, the soft, I hired some government contract worker, music therapy major, hipster in Brooklyn to make the music. You know, like this. But we're cool and edgy, kids. Hey, fellow. Sounded like it was made by a 37-year, 3-month, and 2-week-old boomer. Like, that's how precise hipster Brooklyn, New York, government paid, government worker, shit piss type of boring ass me. Guy comes in. Mixed race, just standard. They went to the mixed race guy store, right? Just a commoditized, I don't know his name. It doesn't stand out. And I understand when you're starting off from radio and podcasting now more, you got to start somewhere. But hey, let's go to the generic mixed race guy store. Here's the soft talking mixed race guy. We thought, hey, how you guys doing? Welcome to the Verge. And he tells you what he's going to. Today we're going to talk about Miss Hanukkah, whatever her name is, new president CEO of Logitech. Can I get some avocado and toast while I listen to this? Hang on, the guy who came off the shelf, he just turned another day old. He's 37 years, 4 months, and 2 weeks and 1 day old. Let's get a microbrew with a ridiculous fucking can label. And Rushil, I apologize, buddy. I tried to listen to this thing, but it was the most god awful boring shit I've had. Not your fault. Now, I don't know how you got through it. How'd you get through it? How'd you get to the point where they started talking about the things that was highlighted in the preamble? And then it went to a commercial. The Verge is sponsored by Bibbidi Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. Yeah, Bibbidi Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo is bibbidi.org. So I was in the middle of doing something because, hey, Rushil, one of our loyal agents in the field. All right, I'll listen to this hour. So I go and I do something else to keep myself occupied while listening to the headphones. And I forgot what show I was doing, but I got the curiosity got the best of me. I'm like, The Verge has got to be NPR. It's got to be NPR. And so because there's NPR, but then they got their different shows like Money Planet, which I like, and other shows like, I don't know, Readers Quarterly, whatever other shows they got, or sub radio stations. So I thought The Verge was going to be a sub brand within NPR. So I look it up. They're private. They're all surprise. They're owned by Vox Media. Hey guys. Hey fellow kids. Today we're going to talk about mold and how it's bringing about global warming, but only mold caused by Donald Trump. And then they had soft speaking. Oh, and then they ran another ad for another show. Hey guys, zany millennial zillennial girl here, and me and my BFF. Today we're going to talk about Verge juice, the latest and hippest thing about the podcast for the wobbins. We're going to talk about our dogs and our cats and whatever suits our fancy. So when I look them up and find out they're on fire, I'm like, there's no way. Like it's like they went out of their way to replicate NPR. I'm not kidding. I guarantee you, they're sitting there at Vox and they said, hey, for whatever reason, they thought there'd be profit having not a mimic or a look-alike, but they fucking cloned NPR. They did like that secret detective movie forensic show where NPR was smoking a cigarette, but they couldn't get the suspect to actually donate DNA material. So when he threw it away, technically by law, the spit he had on his cigarette, that's NPR genetic. And then they cloned NPR in a lab and they just called it The Verge. I was like, oh, it is. Go listen to hang on. What's the I can look it up. Just to hear it. Just hear the intro. You don't need to where'd he go? Okay. This is The Verge Logitech CEO Hanneke, Hanneke, Faber. Okay, if you search that, you'll find. Guys, just listen to like the first 2 minutes. You'll be like, oh, this is NPR. So I was not shocked, but also very curious. Like Vox Media, which aren't you guys bankrupt? I mean, isn't that? Weren't you the guy salacious ever? I'm proud they're on the last round of funding. I don't know if it's the same Vox Media, but they got The Verge. Did you? Was that your strategy? Hey, let's come up with an NPR clone. Let's be more. I got a better idea. Yeah. You know that NPR entity, not company, because it's not for profit. It's not real workers. You know that NPR charity where they hire like second tier aspiring radio wannabes? Yeah, I've heard about them. Let's double down. We're going to become NPR squared. We're going to become more NPR than NPR itself. We're going to out NPR. And by God, it's like a Saturday Night Live skit with Frank Caliendo doing the voices. They just fucking nailed it. So it was so NPR, I couldn't tell the difference, right? So I looked up the budget for The Verge, like what their revenue is, and then NPR, which doesn't have revenue. They have stolen money from the taxpayer to tell the taxpayer how they deserve more money, and taxpayers are evil. So The Verge has revenues of about 29 million per year. NPR has a little more than 10 times that, 300 million. That's the budget for NPR, 300 million. Look, Cappy was ever president, Cappy ever was an advisor to Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, whoever wins. We got to cut a budget. I'm like, hey, I got an idea. Okay. For 1/10 the price, you can get an NPR that's more NPR than the current NPR you got now. With shitty canned music as well. Soft speaking, off the shelf, mixed race or not, it's up to you. You can they're doing it for 1/10 of the price. And I don't know. I'm not going to listen to The Verge. I'm just not going to listen to The Verge. Not that I hate them or anything. I just don't care to hear NPR, the version 2.0. I guarantee you their politics, right? Vox, right? Vox Media. They're like edgy, woke. Hey, millennial kids, isn't communism great? Buy our product. I'm just going to assume you skew left. There you go. I saved the taxpayers, what is it, 270 million? No. Yeah. 30 million, 330 minus 3 minus 30. Yeah. 270 million. I said, how many kids could we bail out of the student loans with that? How many houses could we build for poor people? And you, with no lower standard of living for the American public. There'd be no lower standard of living. You would have the exact same thing. You would have a superior version of NPR to the current version of NPR you got right now. You got The Verge. You fire off everyone in NPR. You all got to get real jobs that contribute to the economy. I'd recommend carpentry. So instead of reporting on the housing crisis, maybe you solve it or contribute something to its solution. And then you would not notice. You have to listen to it. You wouldn't know the difference. No one would know that NPR had been fully replaced with a 90% savings. The Verge must have hired some people from NPR. The genetic imprint is on it all over. It's almost a comedy skit. You got to listen to it. So I'm sorry, Rasheal, I cannot critique Miss Faber's tenure thus far as Logitech's president and CEO. With the interview, I mean, she was competent. I didn't hear anything ridiculous, but I only got about a third maybe through it. And funny witticism. Funny witticism. Yes, well. Gee, I don't know why people are watching YouTube documentaries about the war in Russia or tornadoes or black holes versus white holes versus neutron stars versus literally anything else. Have no idea. Hang on. Let me look up Vox Media. I thought they were belly up. Vox Media. The modern media. American mass media, founded in Washington, D.C., headquarters in Lower Manhattan, New York City. Bankrupt? Yet another media company is laying off workers. Online publisher Vox Media cutting 4% after letting 7% go. Didn't they own Gawker? Was it them, or am I confusing Vox Media with Gawker? Oh, New York Magazine. Oh, yeah, New York Magazine. The New Yorker? No, I'm not going to subscribe and read your article. Privately held firm, New York Magazine, The Verge, and Eater saw revenue fall roughly 15% in 2023. Bustle Group. Oh, that's a competitor. Vox Media going broke. Vice, that's what it. Wait, is BuzzFeed and Vice? Vice is Vox or no? Vice is going bankrupt. BuzzFeed News is dead. What does it mean? Okay, so yeah, Vice is the one that went by Vox. I remember Vox Media, the yellow and black logo, right? It was always, you worked hard and fuck you and pay more taxes, right? Your standard left is shit. Private sector left is shit. Got We have a superior surprise. You have a superior NPR product provided by the private sector. Don't worry, NPR listeners, they're just as leftist. They're just cheaper. You'll get your synthetically created shit wannabe hipster. Don't worry, you'll get your music. Oh God. So I apologize, Rushil. I can't make it through that arc. I can't listen to it. It was way too long. It was just like, oh my goodness. Are you traveling a lot? Oh, must be nice to have government finance everything. Let's drink with our pinky up. It was that. It was so bad. So yeah, but I'm not gonna be able to get through it. I apologize. So hopefully this video will suffice instead. Albino, $5. Reference your last video about being lonely and disliking people. Do impossible adult things to yourself, especially Sonic employees. What about like the burger joint, Sonic? Do impossible adult things to yourself, especially Sonic employee. You lost me, Albino. Look, I'm all for right. Look, if you're lonely, whether it's intellectual, like you're intellectually lonely, you just don't have enough people that are smart, or you're just too dumb and I don't know, you're unpopular. That be another you're just not popular with whatever group of social people you're hanging out with. Or you're ostracized. Say you're a conservative living in a Marxist leftist town or whatever. Um at the end of the day, you got to do something. Yeah, why not do impossible adult things? Why not go? I always envied the people who rode, those off-road bikes across continents. I looked into riding down to Tierra del Fuego. It's not easy. Why not go sail across the Pacific? Why not go live out in the wilderness for a while? At least you'll have a story. At least there's a challenge there. Absolutely. You got to keep your brain entertained. And if due to either ways you were born or how your environment or social networks have evolved around you, if you are, for lack of a better word, otherwise ostracized or incongruent with the current group of people in your current environment, go to a different environment or go to an environment where there aren't any people, go on an adventure. Absolutely. Like when you're riding a motorcycle, ain't nobody bothering you. Rode up to Alaska and back. Nobody bothered me. It was nice. All right. There you go. I have no links below. I think I just have a link to Asshole Consulting. We'll see you guys later. Toodle.